Hey guys, Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews. Well, just wanted to show off two Dewalt impact drivers, and of course if you've been watching Dewalt at all recently, they came out with this new ultra compact impact driver. It's the DCF850, and there's been some awesome deals on this impact driver. Home Depot, when they first came out with this impact driver, there was a deal where you get the kit with a 5 amp hour battery, and then you get a free 5 amp hour battery for $200 total. So 2 5s, impact driver, and a charger. Absolutely fantastic deal. It was sold out for a few weeks. I had to wait a while to even find one in stock. I did find one, and I've been using this thing for a few months now. But I've noticed it does have an interesting weakness, and before I get into the weakness of this impact driver, let me show you a little bit older model here. I just picked this up on eBay. Came with a 4 amp hour battery. Of course, it's a little rough, little used, but it works totally fine. No issues at all with it. Picked it up for $60 with a 4 amp hour battery, no charger. It's the DCF809. Now, between these two impact drivers, there's only about, I think it's like 120, 180 inch-pound difference in power. Not very much difference in power at all. When I'm using them, I can't really feel a difference in these at all. I think there is an RPM difference in these two. Let me see if it shows RPMs. Yep, so this one's got a max RPM of 2,800 RPMs. And the DCF850 has a max RPM of 3,250. So, of course, the newer model is quite a bit faster and just a bit more power, but not tremendous more power. Also, it has the selector switch from mode 1, 2, and 3, where this one has no selector switch. It's going to be trigger only. One thing I like about the Dewalt impact drivers a lot is that they both have the tri-LEDs. That's just my absolute favorite LED lighting of pretty much any brand out there I've tried. Love the tri-LEDs, just reliable. They get the light going in all directions, and it's been absolutely fantastic. But let me show you what we have here when it comes to basically the length from the back of the impact driver to where the collet is. So on the DCF850, I've got 3.95, and on the DCF809, from the back to the collet, I've got 5.13. So, of course, we got a bit of a difference there, just the overall length of these impact drivers. But one thing that comes into play is I was recently installing some in-ceiling speakers. And if you've installed those before, you're basically up against a flat surface like this, and you're going to be drilling, or if you're screwing a screw, that's going to be inset in that ceiling. So having a super compact impact driver, it may not be possible to actually get that in there. So if we look at these impact drivers, and if you imagine that we're up against a flat surface here, and if you look really closely, becomes really obvious when I go like this. This is battery to battery. Notice the not compact impact driver, how much farther that bit sticks out. These are the exact same Dewalt bits I got in both these collets here. So the compact one, I would need a bit extension for that, but for the not compact, I don't. And unfortunately, I didn't even have them with me. Luckily, I had both these with me. I wasn't able to do the job with the compact. With a normal one, I was able to do the job with it. Being able to basically have flush with the ceiling here, I was able to get that bit up in there and get those screws screwed in. Whereas, unfortunately, this one, as you can see here, it's really not going to let you get that bit in there too far if you're drilling up against a flat surface like that. So just something to be aware of when you have a compact impact driver. Make sure you got bit extensions, or make sure you bring a regular size impact driver with you. Can be a little tricky there on how that can, play out depending on what you're doing for work. But just something to be aware of that I just recently noticed, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily a weakness per se, because the subcompact has been super handy when you're not worrying about what's below the handle here. If you're just kind of reaching in the tight places, the battery size doesn't matter, then overall it's been absolutely fantastic. But let's do a little bit of testing here, see what the time difference is between these two impact drivers. Just drilling in some screws, and we'll get back here in just a second. Alright guys, let's run some tests on these two impact drivers. I just got some regular 3-inch deck screws, and I've got a 3.5-inch lag bolt. So I'm going to put some times up on the screen, and let's see the difference between these two impact drivers. I'm not really expecting much of a difference at all between these two. They're so close in power, but let's find out. Now let's go to the DCF850. I'm going to grab a new screw here. These are those grip right self-drilling deck screws. Let's make sure I'm in 3. Yep. Yeah, 850 definitely felt a little bit faster there. Of course, when you have a bit more RPM, that always gives you a good advantage with an impact driver as well, too. All right, so let's move on to that 3.5-inch lag bolt here. And we'll really push these impact drivers a bit with these. All right, not bad there. Let's take that out. All right, now let's see what the DCF850 can do. All right, definitely noticeably faster there with the 850. So yeah, we've got a little bit of power difference here, but when you look at these, the RPM difference is going to be huge between these two drivers. So that's going to give you a good advantage there. And let's take this out as well. All right, quite a bit quicker there with a larger bolt. But you know, if you're doing a lot of just like deck screws and things like that, you're not really going to notice a huge difference. And of course, you know, most of the time when you're doing the larger lags like these, you're probably going to be using a larger impact wrench to do these. If you're doing these all day long, you're going to wear out your impact driver there pretty quick. So, I guess in conclusion, guys, if you look at these two impact drivers, of course, you know, one's been used for a while, the other one I've had for a while. Just use caution whenever you're buying a compact tool like this, because you might run into some tricky situations. Of course, that can always be solved with a bit extension there. But at the end of the day, it's always worth having another extra tool or a spare with you. You never know what's going to happen. I've had tools just randomly fail, randomly quit working on me. I'd always keep at least 2 batteries, 2 tools, kind of remove all the variables there for my tools when around working. I was about an hour and a half from my house, so really couldn't go back home and get another tool. Of course, I could go run to Lowe's, Home Depot, but I don't really like paying full price for my tools. I don't have to. But hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and take care, guys. Leave a comment below.